Hello everyone, this is Gorax. As promised, today I'm going to show you free-to-play friendly teams that can do over 22 million against Thelendor. We will start with the lowest to the highest damage using this Psyche core at this level. No equipment upgrades, only the equipment you can get from the dungeons, and no mythic artifacts. Free-to-play beginners should expect not that high damage, as you'll be lacking crucial heroes and you'll be lacking crucial artifacts as well. Free-to-play veterans, on the other hand, can use these teams as a template and upgrade them to deal even more damage. Alright, let's start with the Dauntless team, able to do over 31 million damage. We're gonna use Nathaniel as our support. As you can see, no mythic equipment means no horn, which means less damage. But we're gonna use Tiara to improve the strength of the shield and grant us extra enlightenment, which also increases the shield that we do. Ancestral protection here to absorb the damage and help us survive when it comes to the team. Not necessary though, because we will have a lot of extra healing on our heroes, so we might change this set for something else. Our crown applier, which can be replaced with Witch's Remain, will be Shagrel. His ultimate is multi-hit that will apply Witch's Remain or Crown in our case. We will use the 3-year set on him to grant everyone elemental damage increase. We'll also use Mountain Echo to increase our sustain and survivability. Next, our main damage dealer will be Shelter. Shelter will use Vile Ink. You can use Fan or maybe not, because Fan doesn't work on him as good as other artifacts like, for example, Pipe Organ that will boost damage of everyone and grant him extra attack as he scales with Enlightenment and attack. We're gonna use Enlightenment, Set, Platinum Knight, and the Wrath of Damage gloves that could also be replaced with Enwinden Flesh gloves that will grant you even more damage. Our second damage dealer will be Vani, who will also boost attack speed of all our Dauntless heroes. She will use Horseshoe as she is the auto attack hero without any skills. Her basic attacks will do a lot of additional damage. We build her with Precise Carnage and Gambler set to increase attack speed and also grant us extra crit damage. Also trigger extra attack when we hit critical hit. We'll move on to Nimbus, who will be our last damage dealer, using Wine of the Dragon Blood, which grants us attack speed and also extra crit rate, mainly to boost his ultimate. He will use the Puppeteer set, granting us extra ultimate energy, and Mountain Echo to boost healing. All of these damage dealers can be replaced by legendary heroes if you own them. Shelter can be replaced by Ivelios. Shagrel can be replaced by Sufa. Vani can be replaced by Farival, and obviously if you have Nastienka, even without an exclusive artifact, you can replace Nimbus. Otherwise, you can even put Monkey. So mix and match. If you have one of these legendaries, they will only boost your damage. Let's have a quick look at the skill timings before we show you the fight. So Shelter will be the one that will go first on the offensive, because he works similar to Ivelios. We will follow shortly after with Shagrel to gain extra basic attacks to boost that. Then we will use Nimbus on 13 seconds, and Vani will go whenever she can, as she will be granting us attack speed, but still on 18-second rotation, we can't get it lower than that. Nathaniel will cast his shield at 18.5 seconds, which means when the boss casts his ultimate, and at 18-second rotation thanks to the Puppeteer set. So the team does not survive the whole battle. Our heroes are rather squishy. We're also using 2 melee heroes. We try to make them survive as long as possible, but since we're using the offensive gloves on Shelter, he doesn't have such a great sustain as other Dauntless heroes. You can sacrifice damage and put Mountain Echo gloves on him and see how this works for you. Maybe your total damage will be higher than mine, especially if you bring some legendaries heroes. As you can see, looking at the damage screen, Shaltar is the main damage dealer. Then we have Vani, Nimbus shortly after, and Shagrel as well. We're using the attack speed aura that Shagrel provides. We could replace any of the legendary artifacts with a mythic artifact, better version of them, and deal even more damage. Especially the crown that we wear currently on Nathaniel, if you replace it with Horn, you're already looking at huge damage increase. Witches remain instead of the crown will help as well. Any of the damage dealing artifacts that are good for the Dauntless team will help as well. Here we are with 1.5 minutes left on the clock, doing 27 million damage. Remember, 22 million damage is all we need to get the S tier and the maximum reward against this Continental Challenge boss. But worry not. We also have teams that can do a little bit more damage, so if you're using your Dauntless team elsewhere, you might consider using them instead. And as you can see, solid 32 million damage already done against Thelendor. Now the next team, which will be Summoners, team with 2 supports. Sadly, we need to play 2 supports as we can't have 5 range heroes because Thelendor will jump to the back. So we're gonna use Euron to provide extra safety for us and attack penalty on the boss. This is why we use accuracy artifact that also reduces the cooldown of this even more. We will use a Tundra set on him just to gain extra ultimate. We will use the Ancestral Protection set on Thorin, and we should replace this artifact to make it more free-to-play friendly, as I didn't notice that during my initial test. So the artifact you could use would be this mirror here. What happens next is we're gonna bring Isitarian, who will be our main damage dealer. His pet does a lot of damage, do not neglect that. We will use Scarlet Chest on him. Hopefully this artifact is available on global, as it's pretty much new artifact. The Warrior Summon unit deal 20% increased damage, and he will use Puppeteer set. Despite using Puppeteer set, he's doing more damage than Ladelhia, so you might consider even replacing this equipment. Ladelhia will use Eyeball of the Giant as I run out of the ideas what legendary artifacts we should use on the summon heroes. And then lastly, we will use Crown of the Unclean on Zadok, who has a multi-hit ultimate. The issue with summons is they don't really have anyone to apply Witches Remain or Crown of the Undead. And obviously, all of these heroes can be replaced depending on who you have. So we could replace Ladelphia with Irzolas. We could bring in Premstad to deal extra damage as well. And obviously, Lelvanis is a choice, as well as this lady here. Replace Ladelphia, and you have Clone and extra damage. And let's see this fight in action just after this quick look at the ultimates and rotation. So we start with Zadok, followed by Ladelphia, and then we'll use ultimate of I forgot his name, Isitarian. And it's pretty simple. We'll use attack aura as well and start the battle. Since we have 2 supports, you would assume we can survive the whole battle, but not really. I mean, higher chance, but Euron doesn't bring much to the table. But out of every other choice that we have, he's the most free-to-play friendly. If you have Ripekas would definitely do better here than Euron, as he can provide us with attack penalty, recharge speed penalty, and quite a lot of other useful debuffs. So, as you can see, Isitarian is doing 51,000 damage, which obviously seems low compared to the legendary heroes that you can bring, but it's quite good. Shows you that he's not a hero that you should neglect, as in previous version he's got changed, he didn't do too well, then they buffed him and he was doing pretty good damage for a summon hero, and in this version he's also solid choice. And here we are, 1 minute on the clock, 22 million done. As I said, quite easy team, nothing stressful. If you're looking to just hit that 22 million mark eventually, because obviously on the first week you're looking to get 2 teams to the highest, but this team works for those of you who didn't go for the level vanis and just want to build a free-to-play friendly team. There we go, over 30 million damage done. So that's the first Salmon team, free-to-play friendly, no legendary, no mythic. I'm still getting confused. No mythic artifacts. Obviously, any upgrades will just increase the damage. But there is a wild team that can do more damage than that Salmon team. And we're gonna use Dauntless here. And once again, with the wrong artifact, but that's okay. We can use this artifact here. It works as well. So we'll see the total damage after this change. We will have Thelendor with Eyeball of the Giant and Precise Carnage gloves. If she dies, we can use the Mountain Echo gloves on her. That will reduce the damage but will help us survive. And we'll use Gambler gloves and Horseshoe on Folly. She is auto attack based wild hero. We'll use Alfie on 15-second cooldown using Spiritual Incense Burner, who will help us with the dice rolls, and he will be using the 3 Ears emblem set. Then we'll use Fia to apply the Crown of the Unclean with her multi-hit ultimate. That will also grant her 30% attack up. The team timings are pretty simple. We'll have Adolphus on default, but since we don't have Aurelium Vest, you might consider going 18-18. This will help you survive against the ultimate, which is really what does a lot of damage to us. We will start our rotation with Alfie on 15-second rotation, followed by Fia to apply Crown of the Unclean, and then both of our damage dealers. So let's have a look at this fight in action. So Adolphus will be the main tank here. We will have 2 melee heroes, which is not ideal, but the damage sacrifice that we could use here would be Thelendor with Witch's Remain and then another range damage dealer. This will reduce the pressure on Adolphus. However, this is the safe bet here. This the one will grant you the most damage. As you can see, Thelendor doing solid 52,000 damage with Folly 24, and Alfie is obviously not the greatest damage dealer, but you can replace any of those damage dealers. Thelendor, very free-to-play friendly, I will keep her. Then you can replace Folly with Felicity if you have Caspar, or even Erich, similar for Fia or Alfie. Alfie preferably with Erich. If you drop Alfie, bring the Erich, and that should work. Oh, as always, remember, you can just upgrade the results I'm showing you. You can bring Witch's Remain, you can bring wild artifacts, you can bring Aurelium Vest to survive longer as well. As you can see, Adolphus does struggle a little bit without that Aurelium Vest. So this will be a good show to see if we can survive without Aurelium Vest and how powerful the Aurelium Vest really is. Because look at Thelendor, she is about to fall mainly because she doesn't have the gloves. So if you bring the gloves to heal, she will sustain more and take pressure off Adolphus. Adolphus can focus on his own. So 26 million damage, still above 22. But remember, the thing with wild is they are always very random. And now onto the strongest free-to-play friendly team. Now, if you pull for Lelvanis just to get 1 copy of her and didn't get the exclusive hero, this is the right team for you. We will use this team and we will replace Horn once again with this artifact called the Crown here. Whereas, no, the Mirror, right? This will boost our healing. So what happens here? We'll drop the damage just slightly. So I'm not expecting 80 million. I'm expecting something like 70. Lelvanis here will use Silver Star Horseshoe to boost her attack speed and grant us crit damage. Look at this crit damage, 240 with 80% crit rate. Now the issue here mainly is getting the stacks to get into dragon form as quickly as possible. And this is why we have Eluia. Eluia's basic attacks will spawn spirits that we can sacrifice. That's right. On top of that, she will grant attack speed and 20% attack up to all ally undead summons. We are using Isitarian once again to get this extra damage, and we will use Zadok with Crown and Thorin as our healer with Ancestral Protection. Lelvanis will be the one tanking here, as she is the tankiest and she will not die until the end of the battle. When it comes to timings, we'll go at default with Thorin, 13 with Isitarian, 18 on Lelvanis to give her some time and give our minions some time to deal damage. And also, if you delay it to 18.5, some of them will tank the attack of the boss. Zadok will be the one applying Crown, so he has to go first, and similar, she is going auto. She's just going whenever. And if you play that, you'll notice how many souls do we spawn. But also, we need to give her a little bit of time to spawn them, and building her with attack speed is quite essential in this case. So Eluia is already spawning few things, and we are going to jump with the ultimate of Lelvanis. As you can see, she is still behind her in the damage. She's fallen, she's only at 16,000. That's bad. This is why exclusive artifact makes her so strong, because she can jump into the dragon form very quickly. But without that, we need to produce the minions and we need to sacrifice them. That's third rotation. And she's still not in that form. And her damage is lower than Isitarian. Is it the time to go into the dragon form? Not quite yet, but we will get there eventually, okay? So you'll notice the damage increase once we stay in that form. There we go. Now we're cooking, we're starting, okay? So we're up to 34, 42, 45,000, 59, 60. That just goes up, okay? It won't go up into a huge number because we're missing the artifact. You remember how much damage we were doing with the exclusive artifact in previous video. If not, watch it. Watch this team, how this team performs with the exclusive artifact. Right, and as you can see, she is doing good job tanking there. Still takes damage, but we can improve her survivability with the glove, Mountain Echo, like anyone in this team. Really, if we want this team to survive longer, that's what we would do. And yeah, okay, those guys die. That's fine. We are in the form already. We can just wait and see how long we can survive. Obviously, without the minions, without the summons, we will fall because the boss now only has 2 targets to focus. But we're still doing 60 million damage. But you can see the difference if you have Horn. If you have a mythic artifact like Horn, you can get this team up to even 80 million damage. So make sure you use dupes on the right artifacts. But Lelvanis will help you against Thelendor and might be your highest damage as a free-to-play player. So hopefully you found this video useful. It's quite long, almost 20 minutes, but I had to do it. I had to explain everything you can do with this. And remember, you can also use those teams in different bosses, and I'll showcase that as well. Once again, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!